Number 10. Bastøy Prison, Norway. This prison went from one of the most impossible to live in the world to the most luxurious in the world. It was dangerously overpopulated and even caused the spread of diseases. The authorities expanded the prison to accommodate another 100 people so that the current prisoners would not live in dire conditions. It cost more than $40 million, and trying to expand the prison while the prisoners were still in there was no easy task. The prison was equipped with new and comfortable rooms where most people would be more than happy to live outside the prison, let alone inside. Prisoners live in comfortable homes in Bastøy prisons. Each man has his own room and shares a kitchen and other facilities with the other prisoners. One meal a day is provided. Any other food must be purchased at the local supermarket and be prepared by the same prisoners who receive a subsidy of $90 per month. Prisoners also earn about $8 a day from various jobs, which include growing food, caring for horses, bicycle repair, woodworking, and maintenance of Bastøy Island facilities. All prisoners are offered high-quality education and training programs to enhance their skills. The prison is a square-mile island that holds 115 inmates with 69 prison staff, but at night the situation changes and only less than 10% of the staff remains on duty. A private island with horses and workshops for new skills does sound really amazing in the context of prisons. Let's just hope that out of all these things, it will actually rehabilitate the people that are currently behind bars of the Bastøy Island. Number 9. Leoben Justice Center, Austria. When most people think of prison or a penitentiary, they think of a small cell with less than desired living conditions. Televisions can be stuck on the same channel 24 hours a day. The food may be too rough, and of course, there are occasions when people live in their cell for 23 hours a day. Well, this is definitely not the case at the Leoben Justice Center, which is perhaps the most luxurious prison in the world. The prison is described as a 5-star prison. Prisoners receive their own TVs in each of their cells. The prison also includes an indoor playing field and some gyms. The current vacancy is about 205 current prisoners. The rooms are decorated with beautiful furniture, and each cell has a private kitchen and a private bathroom. Prisoners are allowed to wear their own clothes, as it is easier for them to re-socialize in the outside world when they leave. When the architect who designed it was asked if he would abandon the design if it showed that this type of prison promotes crime, he replied that the only thing that mattered to him was the dignity of the prisoners. But what if everyone's dignity was untouched, but nothing was gained from their stay in this resort-like place? What then? What if the crimes that have been committed are not punished at all in a place of luxury, such as this one? Wasn't there even one guy who had raised concerns that the concept of this prison will just not work in practice? It blows my mind thinking about it. Number 8. Cordella Chile. Cordella Prison is one of the most comfortable and easygoing prisons in the world. It has amenities that you might see in an expensive hotel: tennis courts, swimming pools, barbecues, private baths, and even your own personal trainers. Prisoners live in their own private cells and live in better conditions than most people in Chile that are not incarcerated. This prison was finally closed because one of the prisoners was recorded saying that all of the guards were employed just to hold his cane. It would not be so bad if the people behind the prison walls were in there for something small, but these people were arrested for human rights violations such as torture and murder. It's one thing to try to make the prisoners feel at home, to provide them with a nice environment, and to make them feel safe. But providing a 5-star hotel treatment that caters to their every whim is another. What astounds me the most is that prisoners in this jail actually have it better than the regular law-abiding citizens on the outside. Wouldn't it make sense for locals to just commit a crime and become a member of this exclusive prison club? It does, but due to the fact that it is exclusive, they don't have much of a chance of getting there after they are given a sentence in the court of law. We all know the good old saying that crime does not pay, but in this case, at least to make sure you're comfortable, safe, and living in luxury. And now for number 7. But first, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss out on more videos like these. Number 7. Sollentuna Prison, Sweden. The prisoners in this luxury prison enjoy a luxurious life that many working people in the West can't enjoy. Prisoners receive luxurious and comfortable sleeping mattresses that guarantee a good night's sleep. These inmates should not worry about soap dispensing as they have their own baths that they can enjoy. Prisoners can keep fit by using the gym. Food is not a problem as they can prepare their own meals in one of the most modern kitchens on the market. When prisoners finish exercising and cooking, they can relax in their cells, on the comfy sofa, or in one of the many chairs. They can watch TV with their feet on the table. The furniture was probably bought in bulk from IKEA. It certainly has that kind of vibe to it. Prisoners are encouraged to exercise in the gym, which looks better than some that are situated beyond the prison walls. Are you tired or bored? Relax and enjoy all the comfort your cell can offer. While many prisons are closing in Sweden due to the lack of prisoners, if anyone can give them business, Sollentuna is certainly not one of them. There is no wonder why there's no lack of prisoners here. It looks like a nice hotel. Who wouldn't want to do the time in a place like this? Number 6. Jalan Prison, Switzerland. The inmates at this luxury prison work at the prison farm and ride horses in their spare time, fish with their friends, and play tennis to keep fit. A prison camp is where a prisoner is put to work on a farm. The grown foods can serve for many purposes, such as feeding inmates, donations to the other government-funded institutions, such as orphanages, and putting them on the market so the state can make a profit. The inmates live in their own small houses, have dinner cooked by the chef, and enjoy saunas. Is it just me, or is there something really wrong with the concept of prison in Switzerland? Don't get me wrong, I'm all about the humane treatment of prisoners, but what this prison does is crazy. It's just like the judge in the courtroom said, "Hey, you did something very wrong, so I'm going to send you to an amazing place where you will have the opportunity to practice sports, fishing, and almost everything you can think of. The food will be nothing less than exquisite because you will be served by a superb chef, and if all the daily activities take too much of a toll on you, you can always hit the saunas if you like." You must admit, if you take this out of context, it sounds like something you might see on a book a stay in a hotel website. Number 5. Halon Prison, Norway. The Halon prison has been praised by many as the most humane prison in the world, although many believe this prison is too soft with its prisoners. Most prisons have a lot of security, such as snipers, barbed wire, or electric fences. But this luxurious prison has no conventional security. The security is not even armed because it seems to create an atmosphere of unnecessary intimidation and social distance. Prisoners and guards are encouraged to be friendly with each other for the encouragement of a sense of community among them. The prison cost $252 million to build and shelters the worst of the worst offenders. Prison cells have a bed, a small fridge, a bookcase, a TV, a desk, and a chair, as well as a private bathroom with a shower, toilet, and sink. The school building also had a grocery store called Justice, where prisoners can buy what they need to prepare dishes for themselves and others. There's also a well-equipped music studio, crime records, a garden, a sacred room, a fitness room, a training room, a library, a computer room, a family visit house, and more. The school offers prisoners the opportunity to receive adequate education while serving their sentences. The whole deal of this place sounds really like an expensive education center. All of these things at the disposal of an inmate and the combo of no armed guards might not be the best punishment for serious offenders in my book. People have said it, you do the crime, you do the time. But in this case, of this particular prison, doing the time sounds more like a reward than anything else. Number 4. Aranjuez Prison, Spain. Aranjuez Prison is the only prison in the world that allows inmates to have family cells. Prisoners who have children together can live in a cell with the child. The child can grow up in a prison cell for up to 2 years and then grow up on the outside under the care of the family member. The cage is designed to be child-friendly and full of toys and children's characters. The goal is for the child to develop a connection with their parents and for prisoners to develop parenting skills. No one claims that this is an ideal situation, both for the child and the parents. But at least a family can be together for some time while the kid is small enough to not understand the concept of prison. This is the biggest luxury that I have come across so far. Being able to be with your child beats all the saunas and tennis fields in the world. Number 3. Cebu Prison, Philippines. Cebu Prison has become known worldwide for the unusual way they rehabilitate their prisoners. Prisoners participate in dance exercises daily as part of their rehabilitation. They got so good that they even started filming dances and putting them on YouTube, where some went viral. The most popular dance was the video of the Michael Jackson Thriller. The man responsible for this is Byron F. Garcia, an official security advisor to the Cebu government. Garcia was inspired while watching Shawshank Redemption. Garcia laid the foundation of the dancing careers of the prisoners by making them march in unison with the drum beat and soon made them embrace in the art of dance. He said he chose camp music like YMCA so that the tougher prisoners would not seem ashamed to be asked to dance, which seems contradictory. A lot of their dance videos can be found on YouTube, and you can see for yourself how good the prisoners actually are on their feet. All of this seems kind of cute and all, but there's something wrong somewhere in this picture. I just can't put my finger on it. If something looks too good to be true, it probably is. I am pretty sure that somewhere below all the dancing and smiling lies the dark side of this prison, which we might never see. I can only speculate about that, of course, but a prison is bound to have a dark side. Let's just hope that whatever happens in there when we aren't watching is not negatively affecting what happens when we are. Number 2. Addywell Luxury Prison. Addywell Prison is an expensive prison that is situated in Scotland. It is claimed to be more like a school and not so much like a prison. The idea behind the penitentiary is that if treated well, the prisoners will be able to change their behavior that led them to prison to avoid doing the same mistakes. The training in the facility is to help them be more engaged, hoping that it will help them start a new life when they leave. It is also aimed at tackling possible reoffending. By the end of the first year of its opening, it had already become the most violent adult prison in Scotland, with an average of 2 attacks each week. It is one of the most expensive and luxurious prisons in the world, with a construction cost of $130 million, and appears to have been a waste of taxpayer money. HMP Addywell Prison is a private prison in West Lothian that has facilities such as a computer room, a library, and a gym. The 12 wings of the prison have electric pavilions so that prisoners can check menus and order food. They can also use them to check their account balances and recharge their phones. When it opened in 2008, the prison was described as more technological than modern apartment buildings. Number 1. Bonduk Bamboo Prison, Indonesia. Sometimes the luxuriousness of a prison is measured not by what is given to you, but by what you are able to obtain for yourself. The Indonesian public was outraged to find some of the conditions in which the prisoners lived in Bonduk Bamboo Prison. A businesswoman named Ardalita Suryani lived in this luxurious prison. Her unusual prison life was discovered when a surprise check was made on her cell. At the time, she was going through plastic surgery and probably did not expect visitors. There was an LCD TV and an air-conditioned cell, a sofa, and a spring bed. Prisoners were also found to have access to the internet, karaoke, and even servants. Another inmate has bought a carpet, a microwave, and a refrigerator was installed in his cell, along with a home theater system with 8 speakers mounted on the wall. Basically, if you have enough money, you can employ people and buy items for your cell. It wouldn't take long before someone with deeper pockets turned his cell into the nightclub of the prison. There would probably be an entrance fee. The concept that as long as you can afford it, you can have it is quite scary when it comes to the connection of the topic of prison life. What would be the next thing that someone would buy? Maybe a ticket out of there? Number 10. Enormous house. There's something that a lot of wealthy people are truly guilty of, and I have to admit that at first glance, it looks like a reasonable purchase. But if you take into consideration all of the traveling wealthy people do, you would think it would probably be empty most of the time. No one really needs a 25,000 square foot house with 5 elevators, 15 bathrooms, and 1 million rooms. I mean, sounds great, but think about cleaning up after that party. You are going to need some staff. You can't leave a house like this empty while you're gone. You will require a little army of cleaners and gardeners to keep everything ready for you for your eventual return home, and no one likes to work for free. Of course, if you have a house like this, you wouldn't care about spending some extra money. But if you ask anyone dealing with finances, they will tell you that an asset like this is basically a giant money pit. Don't forget that you would have to maintain it, and there will be something special waiting for you at the end of the financial year. Property tax. Number 9. Multiple real estate properties. Some people like to have a place that they can call home everywhere they go. And if your pockets are way deeper than usual, you might be tempted to start buying houses all over the place. I have to admit, it would be nice to have your own place in the location that you're visiting. But again, what happens if you travel a lot? You go to another place and buy another house, and then another place followed by another house. If you keep going on like this, sooner or later, you will end up with your own personal real estate portfolio that you could wave in front of your friends while claiming that these are merely investments into the real estate business that at one point or another are going to make you a lot of money. The whole shebang goes against the first principle of finance. That seems logical, and I have just come up with it. If you invest money into something that does not work for you, generating your revenue, you have acquired not an asset, but a liability. Sometimes, taking time to think things over before you actually make a purchase can save you a lot of money in the long run. I'm not saying don't buy anything. All I'm saying is a pinch of moderation from time to time can make your personal banker and accountant the happiest people on earth. Number 8. Private islands. Can you imagine owning your own private island? It might be great to be able to tell your friends that you own one, but this is just a show-off purchase, and it can definitely not be a practical way to spend your cash. To even buy an island, you must invest millions, and building on some of them might be a financial nightmare. If your plan is to convert it into an exotic tourist attraction, that might actually be profitable, but just buying one for yourself might not be the best financial decision in the history of financial decisions. Most people that have the kind of money to buy themselves an island don't have much free time. They are working around the clock and traveling all over the place, and they wouldn't have much free time to spare. Picture them like a child with bags and bags of toys. In the beginning, they will play with them, and then later down the line, one by one, they just start to forget about them. Which begs the question, why did the kid waste so much money on toys in the first place if he didn't intend to keep playing with all of them? Guess we'll never know. And now for number 7. But first, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss out on more videos like these. Number 7. Art and jewelry just for the sake of it. Sometimes buying jewelry can be considered an investment. Some items keep their value in the long run, while others simply retain theirs. It's a mistake to think that every piece of jewelry that you own will make you money in the near future. Some rich people will buy almost whatever they see just to be able to brag about it. Must be nice. If your goal is financial gain, then the least you can do is take some time and do research to find out if your jewelry has the potential to be sold for profit over time. Don't get me wrong, it's okay to buy things that you like, and if they enrich your life, it's even better. But buying expensive things just for the sake of it and expecting a return is a rookie mistake. You wouldn't want to buy a brand new car and expect to sell it for the same or a larger amount after several years of usage, right? It is better off to buy a classic car, and even then you must research the market to find out which one has financial potential and which one does not. Dealing with jewelry and art is the same thing. Get informed, make the right choice, and you are almost guaranteed to make some money when you do decide to sell it. Rushing into things is never a good idea, especially with expensive things like the aforementioned. Number 6. Tons of expensive vehicles for the family. While a fun purchase like an expensive car can be a fun way to indulge in achieving a certain level of success, it becomes a stupid purchase when you start buying expensive car perks for you and your young children, especially the ones that can't even drive yet. You don't need so many cars, nor do your children need so many expensive things in their lives. There's no lesson for them about the value of money. All they learn is that buying a lot looks good when it's not, and they don't even have to work hard, which makes them needy and lazy kids. It might be a million times better to let them earn the money for their car by actually working for it. Give them a regular job so they can see how regular people live, and that might open their eyes to what they actually have and be happy with it. Imagine driving a rust bucket that you have worked your butt off to buy, and you pass by places that now you won't be able to visit anymore. Long story short, a person starts to appreciate a thing no sooner than the moment that he loses it, which is kind of sad, but that's the way the world works. Buying fleets of expensive cars will get you an adrenaline rush. It'll make you happy for a while, but as soon as the rush is gone, what you're left with is a really terrible financial decision. Be smart, think your way through cutting down the expenses. Number 5. Staff and personal chefs. Those who have disposable income that goes in the millions and buy big houses later down the road realize they do not have the time or the will to take care of the daily maintenance task that comes with owning properties like these. So they hire staff to do it for them. They may also feel that they no longer have the time to cook, so they bring a personal chef. Is it these other purchases and the idea that they have the right to make others care for them is what makes them lose so much money for basically surrounding themselves with people to do what they can actually do on their own? In fact, rich people can also enjoy these things and find personal satisfaction in doing them. That is something money simply cannot buy. If you constantly have people doing the things for you that you can do for yourself, at one point you will become lazy and bored out of your mind while having everything a person can ask for. I don't doubt the fact that having a personal chef or a cleaning crew will make your life easier, but sometimes doing things yourself might actually make you happier. Imagine the amount of staff that all the properties you own require. Now consider how much time you spend on a property. You can see where all of this is going. A situation in which you're flushing money down the drain. Number 4. Yachts and boats. This is the biggest symbol of social status that I can think of. It's stuff that dreams are made of. Who wouldn't want to own a boat and throw parties like crazy while traveling to exotic destinations? We have all seen the movies showing us the glamorous life of the yacht owners. Let's be frank, not everyone can afford to have one, but you can bet that everyone wants one. To own a yacht is not a cheap thing. First, you have to buy it, and then you will have to get a crew because, let's face it, you won't be able to run things for yourself, and don't get me started about the cost of operating a thing like that. Can you imagine how much fuel and maintenance that would cost? It's a crazy number, I'll tell you that. In my opinion, the only good reason for owning a yacht is if you are really into sailing and passionate about the open seas. Otherwise, consider how many times you'll use it in a year and you will get what I'm getting at. The funny thing is, once you own it, the amount of money it demands doesn't slow down. Even if you decide to park it and not use it, you would still have to pay for its storage. Imagine the whole situation like having a deep dark hole in your living room with a voice coming from it that says, more, all the time. What would you do? Keep throwing money at it and hope that it will just shut up, or just get rid of it and solve your problem? Your call. Number 3, plastic surgery. Celebrities are showing us every day how silly and ineffective plastic surgery can be in their vain and insecure attempts to look younger and more attractive. Losing money in plastic surgery can slow down the process of aging, but it will not prevent it from happening, nor will it make you look much better. In some cases, you might end up looking even worse. A tasteful touch here and there is way better than trying to shave 20 years off your face. We have all seen rich people and celebrities with stretched faces. My opinion is that you shouldn't go overboard with the plastic surgery. Just because you can mess up your face doesn't mean that you should, because at one point you might end up looking like some kind of young lizard. Wrinkle-free is enough to be considered younger, but strange-looking enough to be at the center of attention in a bad way. Plastic surgery is not cheap, and if it becomes your hobby, it will quickly burn a hole in your pocket. Or your face? We've all seen where these surgeries go completely wrong. A more effective approach that doesn't cost money at all is to exercise and eat healthy. Number 2, private aircrafts. Like a yacht, anything that flies is really unnecessary unless you have a special place in your heart for the miracle of flying. If for you, the whole point of an airplane is to take you from point A to point B whenever you want, I consider it being a risky idea. Think about the carbon footprint also. This is because you also spend money on storage and maintenance when you could actually use a jet or helicopter service when you really need to use them. On the other hand, there's always the option to use the commercial airlines, and if you see the budget airlines as a no-go option, why not get yourself a first-class ticket? Of course, if owning a private aircraft will be the difference between winning and losing millions due to you not being able to get to a meeting on time, be my guest, buy one as soon as you can. The majority of the time, this is not the case. Some people buy aircrafts because their friends own one and they don't want to be left out trend-wise. Consider the pros and cons, and if the former outweigh the latter, then you already know what to do. Owning things for the sake of owning them might ruin you financially. Come to think of it, if you are considering whether to buy or not buy a jet, for example, you might not be that worried about the financial state of things. Making smart purchases never goes out of style. Try to stay stylish, okay? Number 1, premium club memberships. It's a good idea to join a social club, but many of them come with the most exuberant annual rates just to be a part of something that is considered exceptional. In return, you don't really get that much other than the idea that you can show others you're an elite member. In conclusion, private clubs are a great status symbol, but one that comes with a hefty price that sooner or later may start to weigh you down. Because of a busy life, most of the members may not even be able to use the private club as often. The whole idea of being in a club is to be part of a group of like-minded people that share your interest so you can discuss ideas and enrich yourself. Being part of a club just for the sake of it will not direct any kinds of benefits your way, except the bragging rights, of course. If you buy yourself a membership card for a local gym and you don't actually go there and work out, you should not expect to get ripped just because you own a piece of plastic that says you're a member. A piece of good advice is to not invest in anything you are not planning on using. Being an elite member sure does sound cool, but other than that, it wins you nothing. Let's not forget about all the fees and charges that come with being a member of premium clubs. Even if you don't attend the meetings, you will still have to part with a good amount of your money. Number 9, Dubai frame. The Dubai frame is exactly what you might picture. A landmark in Dubai that is in the shape of a large picture frame. It is, in fact, the largest picture frame in the entire world right now. It is also one of the most infamous buildings in the world because of the design it is said to have been stolen from its original owner. The intent of the project itself was honestly rather pure. The goal was to make a landmark to try to show off the new face of Dubai, a reference to how Dubai was once one of the most profitable cities due to its oil trade, but the powers that wanted to shift into tourism and entertainment and more. So thus they wanted a landmark to symbolize that shift. Over 900 people sent in proposals for their notion of what the landmark should be, but the Dubai frame was selected as the winner. The idea came from Fernando Danis, who was already an award-winning designer. He felt that Dubai was so rich in sights and wonders that it would be wrong to be able to block any of them with another landmark. So thus he decided to make a frame to put them all in. A 500-foot tall and nearly 300 feet wide frame, mind you. The problem was that when Donis did win the contest, he did not receive the official credit for the design, nor the prize money he was owed via the contest. He went to the US court to sue Dubai for the wrongs, thus making the Dubai frame the biggest stolen building of all time. Number 8. Aladdin City. Dubai is located in the United Arab Emirates. They have a long and interesting history to bank off when trying to make tourist attractions, so much so that they're intending to make a city based on the legendary movie Aladdin. For those who don't recall the story or Disney film, it's about a young street boy named Aladdin who finds a magic lamp with a genie and uses the wishes to make himself a prince who eventually saves the kingdom from an evil wizard named Jafar. The project is set to take place on Dubai Creek on the Persian Gulf. It's set to be a city rooted in its 3 towers that are designed to be like the top of Aladdin's lamp. You could also interpret the 3 towers as a reference to the 3 wishes that Aladdin got to make with the genie. The art that has been made for the project indicates that the towers will be covered in gold in various places due to further show the beauty and wonder of the city. As for what would be in the towers themselves, that would be a menagerie of office spaces, hotels, certain other amenities, and the ability to park nearly 1,000 cars. Though to be clear, the city is still in the planning stages and no opening date has yet been given. Number 7. Museum of the Future. One of the projects in the works right now in Dubai that could be opening within a year is the Museum of the Future, a project personally asked for and approved by the Prime Minister of the United Arab Emirates. The intent of the museum may seem very self-explanatory, but it does go beyond what you might think. On one hand, yes, it is a museum that is designed quite literally to show off the future of both Dubai and technology that is in the works right now. It's also a museum designed to be an immersive experience, one that will help people try and understand why the future might be this way. For example, there will be all sorts of technologies present in the museum for people to see demonstrations of and see just how they can work in our daily lives. This will be enticing to tech giants who are looking for a wide audience to display their latest innovations. What's more, there will be themed areas of the museum that showcases all kinds of things like robotics, AI, and the relationship between humans and robotics and what they could be. Number 6. Underwater rail network. There are many forms of transportation in the world, but oftentimes they can be congested or dependent on other people in regards to how fast and efficient they can be, hence traffic. Trains have always been a loophole around those things, but even they can be blocked, which is why Dubai is working on something truly innovative, an underwater rail system. The purpose of the rail system is very simple. They want to allow people to go to certain places with ease, including going from Fujairah in the UAE all the way to Mumbai, India, all the while doing the traveling underwater. This would be quite a task because at present the two are 1,100 miles apart in regards to the span of the Arabian Sea. But should this work out, it would increase travel between the two nations. Furthermore, the rail system is aimed not just for passengers, but for shipping imports and exports between the nations, thus further growing the relationship between them. As for how the train will be powered, it would use magnetic repulsion, a science that has already proven to be effective in China and Japan via their magnetic trains. That would allow the rail system to go at much faster speeds without fear of friction and thus get goods and people to India and back faster. Number 5. Dubai Water Canal Extension. One of the things that allows Dubai to continue to make more and more landmarks is the literal expansion of the city itself. Not just in their use of land, but in their use of water, including making artificial water landmarks to put things upon. It's in that vein that the Dubai Water Canal Extension was made. This $300 million project brought forth an artificial waterfront 2 miles long and 300 feet wide. The purpose of this was to allow the construction of various businesses to be along the waterfront for people to go and enjoy. Furthermore, the land would allow more transportation of yachts via bridges along with a 16-lane highway that could ferry people across various parts of Dubai to the land and water extension. Number 4. Bur Khalifa, United Arab Emirates, 2,717 feet. Found in Dubai and finished in 2018, the Bur Khalifa building was originally set to be called the Burj Dubai, but was later changed. Despite the location, this building was designed by Owings, Skidmore, and Merrill, which some of you might recognize as a building firm out of Chicago in the US. With 163 floors and a height of 2,717, the Burj Khalifa is the tallest building in the world today, and by a pretty large margin of 700 feet. This building is so big that there are 30,000 residencies within it between the homes and hotels. There's even an artificial lake for you to go and enjoy if you're there. But what might be just the most fascinating part about the Bur Khalifa is the reason for its construction. For it was made to be a beacon of tourism and to help guide the country away from its dependence on selling oil. To that end, it was a success, for the lavishness of the hotel has brought in people from all over the world to visit it, and it stands as one of the most grand buildings in the world today. Number 3. Creek Tower. Currently in Dubai is the world's tallest building. Usually that would be quite a landmark that the nation holding it would be proud of and let stand for some time. But the UAE aren't one to stay idle, and thus they're making a building to top that record-setting feat via the Creek Tower. Work has already begun on the impressive tower, and it's said when it's done it will be over 3,300 feet tall. The design of the building, which is going to be very tall and thin, is said to be inspired by a desert lily, and when it's finished, the top of the tower will emit a beacon of light for the whole city to see. There will also be 10 observation decks near the top of the tower for people to go up and witness the grand view of Dubai. While not confirmed officially, there's talks of also having a boutique on top of the tower in the world's largest mosque. Number 2. Blue Waters Island. There are many man-made islands in the world today that serve a variety of purposes. But in Dubai, Blue Waters Island is a $1.2 billion island that was made just 1,000 feet off the shoreline for one single purpose: tourists. On the island is over 150 shops and restaurants for you to go and enjoy. What's more, it has one of the biggest Ferris wheels in the world. A Ferris wheel so impressively made that it is able to bring on new people on the ride while it's spinning. In fact, a full revolution of the Ferris wheel takes about 45 minutes, but you won't be bored because of the view of the area is said to be quite stunning, and the gondolas that you reside in are stated to be more like a luxury living room than anything else. You can even have a meal as you enjoy the view from the table and chairs that are in each one. So add that ride to the numerous shops and amenities of the island and you can see why many people go and visit the Blue Waters. Number 1. Jewel of the Creek. The Jewel of the Creek rests along the Dubai Creek in the city and is another expansion land made to house all sorts of people, businesses, and more. The design of the area was meant to reflect on the movement of waves, which is why the buildings look like they do. Inside this area are a plethora of shops, 5-star hotels, business centers, as well as residential areas for people to live, restaurants both above and alongside the water, and even the world's largest swimming pool. Some of these amenities are even made on a man-made island, made to help keep all of these things together. The location of the creek itself is next to the Dubai airport for easy traveling and access, further proving that Dubai will go to any means to make their landmarks and areas the best that they can be. Thanks for watching. Can you believe all the amazing things that they're building in Dubai right now? Which of these amazing construction projects is your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe and I'll see you next time. Bye.